Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, where we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. Subscribe to the channel for more sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thank you. We just hit 20 subs, and I'm going to keep on making content that I hope you guys all enjoy. So again, subscribe so you don't miss any kind of content. Now, we got a big preview, Penn State at Auburn. This is a rematch of a 2021 game where Auburn traveled at Penn State and they lost 28-20 in a game where the refs were frankly horrible on both sides, and Penn State did get the win 28-20. Now again, a rematch game, very sneaky game. It is on CBS, so it's not really an underrated game. But I think with all the other games going on, this one kind of floats a bit under the radar. Penn State now ranked at number 22. That helps a little bit with the optics of this game. Auburn obviously is not ranked. But let's break this game down and see who I think will win. James Franklin at head coach, very solid. He, was the Vanderbilt coach, and now he's been the Penn State coach for a long time. But the last couple of seasons, they haven't been as good. They were 11-11, but this year they're starting out 2-0 with a big win versus Purdue, and a game that a lot of people thought Purdue, including myself, would win, but they did squeak out the win, 35-31. Sean Clifford made a couple mistakes, as he always does at quarterback. But they did get the win, and they beat Ohio 46-10. That's expected. Ohio's not a good football team right now. Sean Clifford again. The problem with Sean Clifford for a lot of Penn State fans is he's not elite. And this has been talked about before. He is a solid quarterback. He makes mistakes, but he's going to win you games, but he's also going to lose you games. And this game at Auburn right here is a game that he could very well lose because it's on the road and it's a tough environment. But he's a decent quarterback, but they do have Drew Ayler waiting in his wings, a five-star freshman at quarterback. Nick Singleton at running back. This guy, he's been probably Penn State's best running back so far since Saquon Barkley. Penn State's running game has not been very good lately, but again, Nick Singleton, he had over 100 yards last week against Ohio. Again, Ohio not a good team. But that's good news for Penn State fans because they definitely want to see the running game get back to the way it was with Saquon Barkley, and even back when Joe Paterno was the head coach. They had great running backs in the past. Parker Washington, wide receiver. Again, maybe he's not Jahan Dotson, but he is a really solid receiver that will probably be an NFL talent in a year or two. And on the defensive side, Dominic DeLuca at linebacker. Joey Porter Jr. is a great corner. He's definitely an NFL talent. And Tyler Elsdon at corner as well. Both solid cornerbacks for Penn State. Penn State's got a good defense. I don't think Penn State's defense maybe is as good as it's been in the past, and I don't think their offense is either. That's why Penn State's kind of slipped a bit from being like an elite team, because Penn State, when I was younger, was always kind of like a top 10 team. They've kind of slipped from that, but James Franklin trying to build them back up. They have the talent, but can they go on the road at Jordan Hare and win? This is a big game for Auburn. Bryan Harsin, he's under fire, obviously, on the hot seat after 1 year. Auburn fans, they're very impatient. They want to win. He had a lot of stuff going on in the offseason that they didn't like. They are 2-0, but it's kind of shaky at 2-0. They beat Mercer 42-16, which giving up 16 to Mercer is kind of a red flag. And then they beat San Jose State 24-16. Not impressive at all. Both games were at home, but they barely squeaked by San Jose State. That's not good news for Auburn fans. I was actually really shocked to see the score, that they barely won. You would think an SEC school would definitely blow out San Jose State, but they barely won, but a win is a win. Quarterback TJ Finley. TJ Finley, he's 6'7". I know everybody's like, oh, he's an NFL talent because he's 6'7", but he hasn't really done anything to ever impress me when I watch him. He's okay. Maybe he can become a really good quarterback, but I haven't really seen anything at this time to really say that TJ Finley is a great player. He just is big, and he can see over all the linemen, but he doesn't make all the throws at times. Zach Calzada is waiting in his wings. Maybe he can, eventually be the starter. But again, right now it's TJ Finley, but just not very impressed with him. Tank Bigsby at running back. He did not have a great game on the ground against San Jose State, but he is a really beefy running back, and he can get yards, but for some reason they didn't run the football as well. Maybe the offensive line for Auburn's not as good. I arguably did not watch the game, and I'm not sure. Javarius Johnson, wide receiver, he had a lot of yards in the first two games that they've had, so that's good news. And on the defense, linebacker Derek Hall, defensive lineman Marcus Hall, and cornerback Keontae Scott. They lead the defense for Auburn. Auburn has a good defense that most SEC teams do, but again, Auburn just does not impress me. They just do not look like the team that they've been in the past. I really feel getting rid of Gus Malzahn was not a good move. But that's beside the point. They've got Bryan Harsin, and hopefully they don't run him out the door before he can even get things rolling at Auburn. But they are 2-0. This game is at Auburn, and it is very tough for schools to go on the road and win at Jordan Hare. It is one of the best environments in college football. It's going to be a hectic environment. The fans for Auburn are going to be loud. And this is a big game for Bryan Harsin. His players know it. He knows it. This would be a big win to get kind of the monkey off his back that he's got to win, or he's fired. So, Auburn players are going to be fired up. He's going to get them ready to go. But I actually do think Penn State is going to go on the road and win 31-28. I just think they have the better team this year. They have more confidence since they've already beaten Purdue in a tough environment. I think they're going to go down to Jordan Hare and squeak out a win 31-28. Auburn could definitely win, but I just don't see that they have enough good play so far in the season to win, and I got Penn State winning 31-28. Subscribe to the channel for more sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below what you think about this game, whether Penn State's going to win or Auburn and why, and I will see you next time.